What do you want from me? Have you ever felt this way about an ex? I sure have, and I want to talk about 6 reasons why your ex may be coming back to you. I mean, obviously, there's wonderful things about you, but why do they keep coming back? So what I'm going to talk about here are neurological systems in your body, but don't worry, I'm not going to make it any complicated. But I do want to stress here that I am simplifying things, and this is not exactly how your body works, but I think it's important to understand how our bodies work and how your ex's body might be influencing them to keep returning back to you. I always like to go back to our emotions, the neurological systems of our emotions in our body, because those are really what motivates us. And yes, we can override them and our thinking can take control, but generally the reasons why we do the things that we do come from our emotions. So let's talk about them. Okay, so the first and most obvious system when it comes to your ex returning to you is the panic and grief system, because this comes online whenever we feel like we're losing somebody that we are close to, somebody that we've had an intimate relationship with. And it's called the panic and grief system because that's basically the way we experience it when we lose somebody who's close to us. Even if we made the choice, even if your ex was the one who broke up with you and they chose to do that, they still may feel panic inside of their bodies because it's natural to feel panic when we're losing somebody. Now, if you've ever experienced panic, and we all have really, you know it's very uncomfortable. It's not something that we like to sit in, and it motivates us very quickly to do something about it, either to try to shut it down or to solve a problem. Specifically, the system is kind of designed to make us go back to the last person we were with. You know, it's something that forms when we're children. It's the way we relate to our parents, just to kind of like basically put it out there. We freak out when our parents leave us when we're children because we're helpless and we're dependent and we need them, but we still relate to other people the same way. We're a social species. So during this panic phase of panic and grief, your ex may be feeling really uncomfortable with this feeling of being alone and not really knowing what to do and thinking about the way that you used to be together. And so they may be trying to get you to come back to them and get close to them, and that may be why they keep returning, why they text you, why they show up at your door unannounced, when you see them out in places, when you knew that they knew that you would be there, that kind of a thing. It could be their panic and grief system that's activating and telling them, get them back, don't be alone. And this might be a good time to point out that all of these systems are probably activating in your body in some capacity too. Even if you're angry and you hate your ex, probably part of the reason why you're motivated to keep thinking about your ex in the first place and why you keep getting angry is because your panic system is coming on. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is the seeking system in your body. So I should mention all of these systems are pretty much wired together in some way. They can all influence each other, but especially the seeking system is the one that is hooked into all the other systems of your body. And basically it does what it sounds like. It makes you seek things out. It makes you, if you've heard of the reward center of the brain or the reward system, that's basically what this is. It makes you want to get things that have made you feel good in the past. So even if your ex has told you that they hate you, even if they've done things to demonstrate that they hate you, as I pointed out with panic, it may look like they hate you, but their body might be telling them like, you need to stay in touch with this person because this was somebody who made you feel good. And this system has been implicated maybe in addiction a little bit. And so it's not that different when somebody loses us and we go seeking them for that reward again, that maybe we're experiencing some withdrawal at the end of a relationship. Now again, I'm simplifying things here. I want to make clear that addiction is very different from losing somebody at the end of a relationship, but the systems that are activated are similar. And so your ex or even you might have these feelings of feeling like maybe you're not getting anywhere by yourself, or maybe feeling depressed, the grief part of the panic and grief system, and feeling like you need to do something about it. And you're motivated to go find your ex, or your ex is motivated to go find you to try to feel better because that's where they felt good in the past. Even if they don't like you, that system is still activating. The body doesn't care. Speaking of care, that's the 3rd reason why they may always be coming back to you, because of the care system. The care system you may have heard to as referred to with like oxytocin and stuff like that, and it's just your general bonding system. Again, I'm oversimplifying here, but generally when we think of oxytocin and the system, we're talking about bonding with somebody, feeling good around somebody, having that feeling of confidence and feeling loved. That feeling, of course, can pull us towards other people. It's what pulled us together in a relationship in the first place, and your ex still has that system in their body like anybody else, and they may feel like they want to be close to other people, and they may want to get close again to you. That loving confidence feeling, that is awesome. I know you know that because you love that feeling too. We all love that feeling. So that could be what's motivating your ex to try to return and get that feeling back. Okay, the fourth reason, I gotta be careful about this because YouTube will try to demonetize me or doesn't want to show this video to so many people if I talk about it, but the fourth system in your body is the lust system. I probably don't need to go into too much detail, but this is the system that kicks on in adolescence for most of us, and it motivates us to try to get close together. And this is the one that when we talk about intimacy, yes, we're talking about closeness and feeling good and confident with somebody, but unlike the care system, this is a very specific kind of intimacy. This can be a really powerful motivator, and as I mentioned, it's linked in with the other systems, so you put lust and care and seeking and some of these other things together, and that could be why your ex is always coming back to you. Now, the fifth reason and the fifth system probably is not going to factor in for everybody, and probably not even for most people, but it's a possibility. I would say that it was something that motivated me to try to get back together with my ex, and that would be fear. Fear is that system that kicks on when we're feeling really panicked, when we feel like our life is threatened, and it brings on that fight or flight system you've probably heard about before. Fear might even be responsible for some of the anger that you might get from your ex, but if they are the flight type of person, or at least in this instance they're moving towards flight, they may be trying to get away from the fear of being alone and get towards you. The fear system together with the seeking system may be causing them to try to get back to you for that feeling of safety that the care system was giving them. Now, I know this is like a little bit much. There's all these different systems in our body, but they just kind of like naturally activate. It's not like somebody's really thinking about them. You know, these are just our emotions. These are how they arise. This is just the way that we feel about things, and these things can motivate your ex to feel like they need to get back to you and get back into a relationship. Or even if not a relationship, just a friendship. They may just be seeking out closeness to you because that's what their emotions are telling them. And you might be feeling a little bit of that yourself. But emotions are not the only things in our bodies that motivate us. And so we also have the sixth reason, which is that their thoughts might be driving them towards you. So your thoughts and your emotions interact. Generally, your emotions have more control over your body than your thoughts, but you also can think about things and you can change how you feel. Your thoughts can change all of these systems and interact with them. This is pretty much the principle behind CBT or DBT, if you've heard of those therapies. And the idea is that the way that you think, once you grab hold of the way that you think, can direct how you feel. Of course, you may not be a hold of the things that you think, and you may not be in control all the time of the things that you think, and that can be driven by your emotions. So it's this really complicated thing where your emotions and your thoughts are constantly interacting. Now, your ex's thoughts may be driving them to return to you. Let's talk about some ideas of why. So for one thing, we have memories, and if you have had positive experiences in the past, maybe your ex has had some time to think, and those memories pop back up into their lives, and those memories might amplify some of those feelings from the care system, and it may drive them to start seeking you again. Or for another example, they may be feeling particularly lonely one day, and they may have to sit with their thoughts because there's not really much else to do. And they start thinking about how they lost you and how they're never going to find a relationship again and how they blew it and they screwed up. And all of a sudden this fear starts to creep in, or maybe the panic, and that drives them to go back to you. Human beings are complicated, and the reasons why we do things are complicated, and your ex is a human being as much as it may not feel like they are one. But it's also easy to get caught up in our thoughts and our feelings about somebody else and forget about ourselves. So I think if you are listening to this and you're analyzing your ex and what they're doing, I get it. I was there too. It helps you to get some context and it helps you to feel a little bit better about what's going on. But don't neglect yourself. How does your body feel? What have you been thinking about? And what's driving you? How have you been feeling lately? Let me know down below in the comments.